Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Chef Yusuf Show, where we learn to cook the Islamic way. This Ramadan we're dedicated to learn everything we need to know about soups. In previous episode we learned how to make clear soups, we made thick soups. We learned all about thickening agents, and of course we did deal with cold soups, we dealt with stews versus soups, we learned some tricks from the can, soups from the can. In today's episode we'll go ahead and take a step further. We'll talk about fruit soups. When I talk about fruit soups, I'm talking about the real fruit, the sweet fruit. So this is the sweet soups that we're going to discuss. In today's episode, I'm going to make a warm fruit soup, and I'm going to make a cold fruit soup, and I'm going to show you a method. When you learn this method, you can make any fruit soups. If you know the foundation, the basic foundation, you can add any fruits if you like, and you will have a soup. So inshallah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, to get started, I'm gonna go all the way to overseas. We're gonna go to a place called Norway. Norway, we have a soup there that is really delicious. It uses a lot of the dried fruits that we're gonna soak with water. It is very commonly known in the Norway area. So let's go ahead and get started, inshallah. You will see in the table here there is a lot of mess, but don't worry, it is just simple few things. I just added the bags to show you what do we need. For the main ingredients, we do have an apple, we do have an orange, and we do have a lemon, and of course we have one cinnamon stick, and of course we have here some of the dry varieties. The first variety we have is apricots. How much apricots? You can put a handful of apricots. So I'm going to use a handful of apricots. I'm using a handful of plums. This is pitted plums that comes in bag as a dry fruit. And of course I have some raisins over here. I have black raisins, a little bit of black raisins. Go ahead and add whatever in this bag. I just have a little bit. We'll mix it with some yellow raisins. So this will be like a handful or so. So we're doing now equal amounts of apricot, plums, and some golden raisins mixed with some black raisins. Over here I have some cranberry, right? You know what? I don't even like cranberry. I don't know why I brought this out. But the point is here is to show you if you like certain fruits, you can add, and if you don't like certain fruits, you can avoid. And you don't have to follow exactly written recipes. Every time you look at the recipe, look at the instructions and know the method that they use to cook, and add whatever recipe that you want. This is the point of this show over here, is to educate you on how to cook and not what to cook. Of course, we do have the thickening agent, which is going to be a new thickening method, which is the method of using starch. We did use roux in previous episode, but we never got the chance to work with tapioca. This is medium-sized tapioca. We only need 4 tablespoons, which is really a similar portion of the fruits that we have here. So this will be our thickening agent. Tapioca, when we cook it, it will become starchy, it will expand, it will release its starches, and it will become a thickening agent. Okay, in the side we do have a can of cherries, pitted cherries in some kind of juice. So this will come later in the episode. For the ingredients, we also want some water and we want some sugar. And the sugar, the reason for the sugar is just in case if everything turns out not to be that sweet, you can sweeten it as you like. But in previous episodes, we always talked about not cooking with water. Why? Because water is the flavorless liquid in the planet. Why would you want to cook in water? The reason we want to cook in water in this occasion is just in case if it's too sweet, we can cut the sweetness with water. Okay. Now, if you do want to add some sugar with water, why not add juice? So in this case, go ahead and get your favorite juice, and you can substitute adding sugar with water by using juice. Okay. So this is gonna be really up to you and how sweet your ingredients are and how sweet you like your soup, the final ingredient, to be. So I'm gonna get a knife here. I'm gonna cut the ends. We'll start with the orange. We'll cut the half, and we'll use the half moon shapes for the orange. Now the interesting about the orange that it is also not just sour because of the citric, it also is bitter because we're using the zest of the orange. So we'll put the whole orange in a pot. Same thing with the lemon. This is where we're gonna get our acids from. I'm just gonna have half a lemon. The other half we'll use for a different application. Okay, so we put the orange, we put the lemon. We'll just dump in the tapioca. We'll dump in everything with the raisins, the plums. Make sure they're, the seeds are out, they're pitted, and the apricot. Put them in the beautiful pot. So technically we're adding all of the dry fruits with the tapioca, with the citric fruits, everything except for the apples and the cherries. Okay, and if you're a beginner at this, go ahead and add water. If you have done this before, go ahead and add the juice or the sugar, and you can play with the consistency. We'll add the water. Make sure everything is soaked in water. And this soup is actually is a 2-day preparation soup, so you have to soak everything in water, and this way the water will extract all of the moisture, all of the flavors, and especially the cinnamon will release some of its flavors, and the tapioca itself will become easier to cook. So we'll go ahead and leave this for 24 hours. Inshallah, we'll come back after 24 hours and we'll go ahead and finish the soup. We'll go ahead and add more water here and cook this mixture. Allow it to boil, let it cook for a few minutes, maybe 10-20 minutes. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get our can of cherries. We'll get our apple here. We'll go ahead and peel the apple and chop it. The apple, we'll go ahead and use some of our tools here. I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. Yeah, while I'm doing the apple here, I have a scooper here. We can just scoop the seeds out. So this is what the tools that I'm using. So you add the apple, when you add the heat on, and you allow this to cook for about half an hour. So at this case, we'll go ahead and open our black cherry, and we'll add this. And after we add this, we'll just cook it for 5 more minutes, and it should be over. Okay. Okay, just make sure a cherry is on top, and of course, because of the tapioca and the courtesy for bubble tea, we'll put it in a tea cup, and you can serve this. I believe this dish is called Fruktsuppe, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. It comes from Norwegian. It is served hot. We'll go ahead and taste this. And when you taste this, you definitely can feel the bitterness from the peel of the orange. Extremely sweet from all of the fruits, and of course there is the citric from the acid. The tapioca, it gives it amazing texture. The apples with the cinnamon, they are married together. Very beautiful combination of flavor. It does cause an explosion in the mouth, so I'm not gonna brag about how tasteful this is. But the tapioca itself, when you chew on it, it also gives that wonderful texture. So this is one of the best soups, or soups of the fruit soups category, that I found that I wanted to share with you. It's beautiful at the time of Ramadan when you want something sweet after a long fasting day, when you have no energy, so something sweet will give you a boost. When we come back after the break, I'll go ahead and talk about a version of the soup from the fruit category, which is going to be cold. So this will be a cold fruit soup, will go very well with a hot month of Ramadan. So inshallah, we'll come back after the break. Do not go away. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.